Hi, and welcome to Inside Pleasantville School District. I'm Emily Rubin Persons, your host and Board of Ed trustee. Several years ago in our Communications Committee meeting, we were brainstorming how we could enhance our website to share and express with the community all of what our students are doing throughout the year. Aside from academics, there is so much pride and excitement in the traditions. The plays, the football games, the middle school band marching in the Halloween parade, and so much more. You know, our school district is like an anchor within the village. It's like the fabric that is woven by the community we hold dear. So we're bouncing around all these ideas, anchoring, our A+ district, our students are achieving, and of course the letter A rose to the top. So if you look on the website, on the front page, you'll see 3 portals: arts, athletics, and academics. So 2 episodes ago, I spoke with Julia O'Reilly and Joyce Connell about academics and all the choices our students have. So in this episode, I'd like to share about the other A's, arts and athletics. So first, I'd like to introduce our new drama and chorus teacher, Nadia Rizzo, joined with our music director, John Verchese. And then I get the chance to speak to 3 of our students, Ryle Bose, Victoria Stargiati, and Luke Monfine. So I'm here with our new theater director, Nadia Rizzo, and our master, John Verchese. So, the play.
We did it.
We did it.
We sure did.
Oh my goodness.
My fingers are still crossed.
What an experience. I mean, when that, standing at home and watching it on the screen, the kids coming onto stage, oh my gosh, how did you do it?
It was certainly a process. I mean, there were so many things that we did not have to think about before. Daily health screening forms, masks, singing with masks, face shields, gloves, even parental permission for even dancing at a closed position. So it was important that we kind of did our research as much as we could beforehand and kind of let everybody know our game plan from the beginning, knowing that at any time plans could change, and really, sharing that with the students as well. Like, we're going to do it this way today. It may be different tomorrow, but we're still going to keep going forward.
It's really, my middle son was in all the plays, and getting those rehearsal schedules, you're going to be here from 3:30 to 4:15, and you're going to be here, it's such a juggling act to get all those kids. Now you had this year with that, but you also had, these kids are only here on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and those kids are here. So that was also a giant.
We did have kids coming in on their asynchronous days, but it did require a lot of planning. Juggling, and Nadia spent a lot of time trying to figure that, all the pieces.
It was a puzzle.
Yeah, it was that big puzzle.
A weekly puzzle.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure I saw with my own son who was in the play, his mood overall, just, it felt so good to be with other kids, not sitting in the classroom like this, but just that normal being together.
And that was a common thread that was kind of happening at every rehearsal. We all were expressing, this feels so good, this feels so normal.
It feels so normal.
It was the one thing that we were able to almost snap back and forget about everything, even forget that we were wearing the masks sometimes, I think, because we were just all doing something that we were passionate about and working together to create this, whatever this was going to be,
There was one moment, I don't know, you probably remember this, we had 2 numbers that were back to back. The boys did a number, then the girls did a number, and I think the boys were on the stage, and I don't know if I was at the piano or sitting in the audience, and this banter started between the boys and the girls, and firing things back, all good natured, of course. And I remember, this feeling hit me. Wow, like there's the joy.
Yeah,
there it is. This is, we've been missing this for so long.
We've been missing this,
and it just made me feel good. And I know that everybody, whether they were aware of it and thinking about that was amazing that was happening. It was just
because in chorus and band, it's been a little bit different. What has chorus been?
Well, I think, in the beginning of the year, I'm sure you did it as well. I was trying to tell the kids, this is going to be a year like we've never experienced before.
Right.
Everything we've kind of known as what chorus or band or any ensemble should be is going to look different. And we have to just be ready and willing to kind of roll with it.
Right.
Not knowing, again, how we might do things tomorrow. So I think we've done a really good job of keeping morale. I mean, it's very different, seeing a screen and not having the volume on because of the lag. We can't. So are you doing that? Did you guys get that? Oh, okay, good job. It's different, but just to keep the motivation up. Yeah, you sound great without hearing you. So that's been a challenge, but one that we've kind of taken on, and we just keep moving forward.
Right.
And things that forward looks different than it would have last year.
Right.
But that's okay because forward is forward.
Forward is forward. Oh my gosh. Feet forward.
Band has been completely different. We have not been playing instruments in school at all.
Oh, really?
Not at all.
Not at all.
When we come back, we're going to start, now when the weather's better, we can go outside, we can start to use the auditorium, appropriately distanced. But I shifted gears. And students are still playing at home. And I said, listen, everybody, we just need to keep playing. And
so are they recording what they're doing and then submitting it to you?
yeah, there's some amazing software now. So they're doing that. Like I said, just keep playing, keep the instrument in your hand. But we've also been working with some other programs we've been composing.
Right.
We've been learning about the building blocks of music. Okay, we all play scales. Okay, well, look at what we can do with a scale. Look at this melody. That's a scale. We could make chords. Listen to this song that everybody knows. That's using those chords from and the eyes kind of pop open and wow. And then we have this software where everybody's composing and basically painting their own
composing, which is something you might not have done.
And we've been listening to these projects the past couple of weeks, and to me, it's amazing. Every single one is completely different. Every student brings something unique to their project. So in that way, it's been great, and I would love to try to continue that and keep that part of the program because it's an outlet that they might not explore if they're not.
That was going to be one of my questions: is what you're doing this year, what will you bring for next year? So composing, that would be so incredible because some of the students you're teaching don't have music in their home. I mean, one of my favorite memories is when my son was in 4th grade, this was quite a number of years ago, and I went to the dress rehearsal at the elementary school, and there you are conducting this 4th grade band, and the sound was amazing, and I was thinking to myself, oh my goodness, here are these children most of whom have never even read sheet music before. And you, with your teaching ability, with your patience, with your passion, brought this group of students to bring this great sound. And look, now you're in the high school with them and teaching them how to compose.
And during concerts, and I'm always, kicking myself after I have to speak to the audience because it's always difficult.
Yeah.
But I feel like a broken record because I find myself saying every year, look at what these kids are capable of.
It is truly.
And it's amazing. It's amazing to me. And when I was teaching elementary band, you have these, 5th and 6th graders. And, by the time they get to 6th grade, and like you said, they're reading music, they're playing, they're listening, there's so much going, but they're so capable.
They can do it. And, the community. Well, look at all the volunteers you had for the play. I mean, and it didn't even come close because it was a much more limited play, but the community really loves the performing arts. They love the arts, the visual arts as well. And our little theater is here because the community loves the arts so much. I mean, not many schools have a play kindergarten through 4th grade. I know we didn't get to do it this year because it was just too complicated with the cohorts and everything. I'm sure the plays will be back in the elementary school next year because it's so important. I mean, and everybody remembers, wait until you see, I hope they bring back the kindergarten circus because that is truly, and it's one of those things that even in high school people remember. Oh, I was the strong man. I was the,
You're so right.
Human cannonball, whatever. And then and on it goes. They really get bit by that bug. So what about, and I know with the middle school, they also didn't get to do a play, but they did an online
It did.
improv, improv, which is, huge.
Things are still happening. I think with the incredible support of the Pleasantville community, that's really one of the main reasons why this was able to be a success, why the show was able to be a success.
Right.
There was so many people wanting this.
Right.
Not only the students, but for the students. And when you have a team, a creative team, who's just as passionate as the students who want to do it, and then we have the community involvement, I mean, that's a recipe for success.
I know.
And not all school districts have that.
I know.
So I've been really grateful to be welcomed into such a community that values the arts
It's
so much. And,
right.
It's very,
all over. It's all over the place with the
wonderful.
visual arts.
Sure.
Seeing it all over the walls. Greg Nemec, what he does.
He's great.
There's so many students involved in so many different ways, building and painting and makeup and costumes and directors. It's just, and they take so much ownership in it. They really take charge.
And again, thinking of how things had to be done in a different way, Easter egg for you, the music that was kind of across the stage was actually, it's a grand night for singing. So we had that quoted on stage, and then hair and makeup. So we can't touch each other, right? So what hair? How could we redefine that? So hair and makeup made tutorials,
right,
for students, and then they could have a one-on-one Zoom with them to see, so we could still make something happen, although it looked really different. We had to get creative, but we're good at that. So
and it just, social emotional is so important in the world today, but you see when you're involved in a big situation like a chorus or a play or even a football team, that teamwork, that working together, how important, you're the leader, but you're also a part of the students and the hair and the makeup, everybody's got to work together to bring their all together, and they see how hard everybody else is working, and then they've made that commitment. There's so much.
I was going to say, to me, if listening to the senior speeches during the play, this year they did them after the show, but they would do them nightly during warm-ups normally. When you hear these kids talk about what they've gotten from the play and being a part of it, and the community, and they talk about family and their own emotional growth and the relationships they've made, and it's just amazing. And I think that those speeches, they really say that.
I remember James talking about one of the kids from his senior year who got involved with the plays, I think in 7th grade, and he had a family tragedy, and just so passionately shared how the play community was such an important part of his, recover. I guess, it just really supported him in so many ways.
And that's the thing. It doesn't matter what grade you're in or what grade you're in or what level of ability you have. None of that matters. No. We all come together and we do something for the good of the show. For the good of the show. We need everybody to do that.
Right. And I remember, and the good of the team. I mean, our track team is like that. Our cross country is like that. All the teams. My older son played football, and by 11th grade, he really he stopped because he needed to work on his grades. That was his choice. But one of the guys who was a star on the football team, he was like, "Come on, Rob, you gotta stay with us, and I was really impressed because, you got to stay with the team, and that Rob really made an impact on him. That star athlete reached out to him and said, "Hey, it doesn't matter where you are on the roster of first, second, third string. You're one of us," and that's really an important thing. I think that. We do see in the community and the spirit. I mean, when you go, I just was at the JV game the other day, the JV football team, and, there's so many community members that, kids are long graduated, but they're still there. They're still showing up because, they support they come to the plays. I mean, my husband was with somebody the other day whose kids also long graduated from the school. Watch the play,
Yeah.
And I think now of all times, the community, everyone needed to see something like that. Just as much as we needed to have it happen for our students.
Right.
And we've all been kind of dehydrated from the arts.
It's a
and
very good
and
word.
we're thirsty.
That's a very good word. We are dehydrated.
We are. And, the fact that we're able to do something that, a lot of high schools may be planning some outdoor events, but we were one of the only ones that were able to make this happen in March. And Broadway's not even happening.
I know.
So the fact that we did it, I'm really proud of us.
I'm really proud too, and my son's up at school, and there's no live performances. It's all in Zoom, so he didn't participate this spring because he just was like, I can't do a play in my room by myself. That's his thing. Other kids can do it, but and there's so many different things now. I can't wait to see what you do going forward. You might be able to do more. Who knows what?
Yeah, I think we're just gonna keep moving forward. We've kind of been in this space, wherever it is called. It's been a very unusual space to be for the past year. Yeah. And I think, we're really starting to see the world artistically, I think, in a different way as things are starting to come back. So I look forward to the future too here.
Right. Do you think that we'll be able to have band in school next year? Do we know yet?
I'm very hopeful, yes. As things ease up and, we have, special instrumental PPE coming in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and, this spacing is starting to ease up a little bit. Yeah.
The guidelines, it's so confusing, right?
Is.
No,
and for
there's
us,
so many
it's even
conflicts.
different. It's hard.
Yeah.
From state to state. And
from state to
study.
How about from state to county to...
right. Exactly.
I think, obviously, as long as we can make it as safe for our students as possible, and as safe for all involved. I think that's we can do. We'll do whatever we can until then. But
I would imagine there was some drop off from your chorus students and your and your band. So hopefully next year the kids will come a little. Some of those kids will come back seeing how you were able to make it all happen.
I think that once the kids get to the high school, they're a little more committed and invested. We've really experienced that a lot in the middle school, which has been hard.
Right.
But the door is always open.
The door is always open. Look, we have kids who join only in senior year. Right? That one kid, I forget his name, Will, who did the dance. He's a senior.
Yeah. Will is, and he had been in the shows, but he had never had an opportunity to dance or to sing solo, and I had not known that. And it was just great not only to meet him and to get to work with him, who's not in chorus,
right,
but to watch him shine, and all the students. That was my goal, to have as many students as possible shine on that stage.
And you definitely did that. I loved watching that dance. The joy on the two of them, it was just like...
and the clear masks, I've got to tell you, we were really worried. Is this going to work? How's it going to work? I don't know about you, but I didn't even see them anymore. It was not a distraction.
I agree. When my son was in a play... last fall, they had a different clear mask. The bar, the support went on the chin, and then it came up and over. So there was nothing on the top. So it was a small cast, so they were able to get away with it. But you're right. You don't even see it.
The day we got the clear masks, I remember Nadia saying, "Wow, I could see your guys' smiles now." And she had never met these kids without
they
masks.
They all look different to me because I'm used to seeing.
I know. I know. It's so true. You don't even know what they're. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I know we have to work so much harder with our eyes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? So what else? Anything else that we want to, the joy, moving forward, the opportunities, what you do with these kids starting and we have a new band teacher in the elementary school.
We do. Mandy
she's got a
doing a great job. She's been very gung ho, and she says the kids they're hanging in there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next year
they adapt. Very well considering the circumstances.
Right.
And,
right.
Just try to
hang
on, and
we got to get that.
Just waiting for that downbeat when I can just hear that music.
I know.
Surrounding
all
us.
Together.
Yeah.
I know. It really.
Hopefully there'll be a new appreciation, for it as well.
You're right.
Because it's
because we're dehydrated.
We certainly
We don't
And
realize
thirsty.
we're dehydrated and
Yes.
thirsty and don't realize how much we miss
Yeah.
because we've all been in our little spaces.
I think that community aspect, for ensembles and performing ensembles, that's something that students, that's what they get out of it,
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Yeah.
So without that piece, I know a lot of them are, what's the point?
It's hard.
I can sit home and play my instrument, but
Yeah.
the idea is to come and
That's-
be with your friends, your peers, and your classmates,
Yeah.
and to play and create that music and to feel that and hear
Right.
that sound around you. It's an amazing, almost indescribable feeling.
Exactly.
And
That
we don't
was-
have that right now.
That was my son couldn't do it at home.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't be by myself doing this. It doesn't, just exactly what you said.
Yeah.
But once he was here at school, boom, it was great. So, which I was so happy to see because, and I think you're right. Next year we got to figure out a way to get a little bit of that performance into the middle school and to remind them. Because some of these kids, they might not remember
Right,
how
yeah.
important this all is. So we'll have to
true.
work a little harder next year to bring everybody in.
We need to just get out there and perform and play.
Right.
And
Maybe we'll have a
make it
parade.
exciting.
Maybe we could do a parade, John, and just like get everybody outside and parade around. Is that allowed?
Community parade.
A
Bring
community
out your,
parade?
Bring out your instruments, kazoos,
Because
whatever you have.
whatever it is, we can just do some stages outside and have everybody acting like they used to do in the olden days, right?
The olden days.
Outdoor theater. Right. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about this really important part of our kids' education. It's not just math, science, and social studies. It's everything that you two bring to
Sure
the
is.
table. It's
Thank you.
so important. So thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
So now I'm sitting here with Ryle Bose,
Hello.
senior.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Can you
We made
believe
it.
you are like how many weeks until you walk across that stage?
I can't really actually, if I'm being honest, but I'm here anyways. So.
You're here anyway. Well, I
Yeah.
really appreciate you coming in. As I shared with you, I'm focusing on the arts and the athletics as well as the academics, and Mr. Sportsman here,
Yep.
Mr. Football.
Big guy.
So how you didn't have football in the fall, but you started playing football, what, 4 weeks ago?
4 or 5 weeks ago. Yep.
How did that feel?
It was great to get back on the field again. I mean, I don't know. It was. I said it before. It was surreal almost because it was like we hadn't been out there in probably 18 months.
Yeah.
There wasn't much preparation we could do. I mean, we could do preparations by ourselves and stuff, but as a team, really, not as much. But being out with everyone and just having like the exhilarating feeling of just being able to play again. And we did have that first game too, where it was a blowout, so it did feel great. So,
It must feel so good.
yeah, it was.
But it was cold. Like normally you start football in the summertime.
Yeah,
so
no,
now
it was
you were
freezing.
starting.
Yeah,
it
I
was
was freezing
freezing. Right, and you've had a few games.
3 games
So
now.
that's just like there I am again.
Yeah, we're into the flow of the season again, so everything's kind of
Right.
feeling a little normal.
Feeling a little normal.
Yeah.
But it's a short season, and then you're going to go into
Lacrosse, right into lacrosse.
Right into lacrosse. No break.
Yep.
Well, you might be. Usually, do you play winter sport?
I do not.
Right. So
I usually
now,
have a big break.
you have a big break. So now maybe you'll be more in, like
Ready to go. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, probably. I mean, better shape usually. I'm a bigger
Right,
guy.
because you're all
so.
limbered up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So you never did you never did basketball? Or,
I tried basketball. I mean, I didn't make the team. I wasn't very good at it, but yeah, no.
All right, I know. We all got to try. You got to
Yeah.
try everything. And you probably played soccer.
Yeah. I played soccer for a while.
Yeah,
So.
everybody starts with soccer. How long have you been playing football?
I've been playing football since second grade.
Second grade.
Yeah, flag football in second grade, and then from there on.
Right on in.
Yep.
Wow, that's amazing. And then, since we're talking about arts and athletics, what about the chorus band? Did you do any of that for a while?
Yeah, I did chorus and band every year that you could go up to until since we started till probably band. I think 6th or 7th grade, and then chorus 5th grade. I think was
Fifth grade.
my
You didn't
last
last
year.
that long in
Yeah.
class. You were not much of a singer.
Nah, I mean, I like to sing by myself, but not very good in front of everyone
Not
else.
in front of the whole crowd.
Yeah.
All right. And how has it been like with school? You know, you didn't have football in the fall, so how did you do academically? Was it easy? Was it harder?
Well, it was actually the first quarter where we just came in. It was actually the best grades I've ever had in my high school career.
The best grades you ever had.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. More time to like focus on my schoolwork and not as much because the beginning of the year really kind of like sets it up for you.
Yeah.
And since we didn't have football, I could really like dive into my schoolwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of because with this hybrid schedule, you had a lot more time on your hands and to set that, you're a B, so you were home
Yeah.
Wednesdays and Fridays. So that's a big learning curve with schedule, figuring out how to schedule your day.
Yeah. It was a little difficult to get around at first, but I kind of got in the flow of it pretty quickly just because, I mean, I don't really know how to describe it, but I did get into it pretty quickly.
Well, that's good. And for next year, are you going to be going on to college?
Yes, I am.
So this is a great learning curve because next year, you don't know what your schedule is going to be like. There's much
Exactly.
bigger blocks of free time that you have to figure out how to schedule your work and all of that. So now you've had this experience.
Yeah.
That's good. Now, what about other clubs? Were you a big club guy, or you just strictly sports, or what'd you do?
Mainly sports guy.
Sports.
I mean, I'd have lacrosse and football every year of high school.
Yeah,
so
that's a lot.
Yeah,
It's
and the
really hard to.
only time I had off was in the winters, and I didn't really want to spend that doing
No, that's okay.
more stuff.
What about the play? Did you ever do the play? No, never did the play. What about it? But you did the play when
in
you were
BRS?
elementary.
Yeah, I love the play in
What
BRS.
was your favorite play in BRS?
I'd have to say probably my fourth grade play, Miss Wazowski's class. Yeah, it was the Lost in New York play.
Lost in New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
One of my younger son had her and did that play. That was
Yeah.
a favorite for many people. And she's now a second grade teacher. Mm-hmm. So she's done it.
Oh,
she's
yeah,
now
yeah.
changed it just enough to make it for the second grader.
That's great.
No, that really is. And what about the kindergarten circus? What were you in the kindergarten circus?
I was a strong man.
Strong man.
Yeah.
All right.
Funny because
Well, they didn't get to do the circus this year or
Unfortunately.
last year, but I'm hoping that they bring it back because it's like everybody remembers.
everyone loves it. I mean, we're all in it together, and it,
Right?
yeah.
No, that's really great. So, all right. So, anything else you want to, share? Like, what's the message to the 8th grader coming up for next year? What could you share?
My big message is don't take high school for granted because it goes by like that. Like, it feels like just yesterday I was a freshman walking into the school. I remember going on a tour the summer before freshman year with seeing my brother there, and like it just felt like yesterday. It's crazy.
Wow.
Went by real
it does
fast.
go fast, and there's so many different things to do.
A lot of
and
different stuff going on at all times.
A lot of different stuff. So
Yeah.
that's great. Well, you're off to somewhere next year.
Yeah.
Right? You're still waiting to decide.
Yep, still waiting.
All right. It'll be here soon enough. So thank you so much. And I think you
welcome.
have football practice this afternoon.
Yes, I do. Yep.
And it's a beautiful day.
It is.
today.
Yeah, it's nice and warm out. It's
All
great.
right, great. Well, thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you.
me. Okay.
All right.
So I'm now here with Victoria Stargiotti, senior in high school. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And, we're talking about arts, athletics, academics, and you have a lot of art going on, which is really, first of all, we're just coming off the play, which, how fun was that to finally get back up on that stage, right?
It was very fun. I'm glad we were able to do it. Really over the moon.
I know. And even though you were wearing the masks, even though she had to coordinate it and have smaller groups,
We still made it work. It was just as fun as any other year, in my opinion. So that's pretty impressive that Miss Rizzo was able to do that.
that's a really important statement, I think, because the play is such a big event. When you
Yeah.
think of those costumes and the stage setting and, 60 cast members up on
Yeah.
stage plus all of the other. And for you to say that, it's the people.
Definitely, it's the people.
that you
Yeah.
had the fun. And the costumes this year are quite simple.
Yeah, they were lovely though.
They were super lovely, but it was, seeing everybody, just the joy coming off that stage was really great. And you've been in every play, I think, right?
Yep. Since
That's
freshman
nice.
year.
That's since freshman year. Did you do the plays in middle school?
I did. Yeah. I've always been involved in theater, or as
Always-
much as I could be.
That's great. What was the play? What was your favorite play in Bedford Road School?
My third grade play, it was the Granny Awards, Granny.
Okay.
It was like the Grammys, but with all these fairy tale characters.
Okay.
So I
Who
got
was
to
your
play.
teacher?
Oh, I had Mr. Marsden.
I think my son had Mr. Marsden. I think he did that play. It sounds familiar now because he's 2 years younger than you, so he must have done that play. Wowee. Oh, that's so much fun. Okay, but then aside from the play, you also just had a big art exhibit. You had some artwork that was exhibited at the Katona Museum.
That was exciting.
That's really exciting. So what kind of art did you have?
I had a drawing in the museum. That's what I tend to focus on. I do a lot more drawing than anything else. But I've been trying to expand a bit more. I'm taking AP Art this year, so I've been able to kind of explore. I'm doing a painting right now. I've done a collage. The drawing that I had in the museum, I didn't use pencils. I used charcoal and pastels.
Okay, so that was a new medium for you? That's wonderful. That's really... Have you always loved drawing as much as the theater stuff, or what got you inspired to get involved with the staying with art?
I think I've always loved drawing, but I knew I really loved theater and singing and all that when I was in elementary school and all throughout middle school. And then the art didn't come until a bit later. When I was in middle school, I started drawing a bit more. I had, my older sister got really into drawing, so I was kind of copying her.
As little sisters tend to do.
Yeah, and then I realized, I kind of actually like this a lot. So
It's very... it's very calming, I would imagine, right?
Yeah.
My son doodles a lot. That's I know a lot of people do that. That's so great. And then, but in addition to the theater and art, you're also in the orchestra, which is you hit all the arts. You're just an art woman.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What instrument do you play in the?
I play the violin.
The violin. The orchestra, I have so enjoyed what Mrs. Mead has done with the orchestra, because that's a tough, teaching, a lot of families don't have, do your parents play the violin?
No.
Right, so here you are, brand new to this fairly difficult instrument, and you've been playing it all the way through. Has Mrs. Mead always been your teacher?
No, in fourth grade.
Yeah, I forget when she joined the district.
Well, I think she was here, but just fourth grade through sixth grade, I had a different teacher because it was just a woman who taught the younger kids. And then in seventh grade, I started with Mrs. Mead.
Okay, but it's, I remember, and I, interviewed with Miss Rizzo and Mr. Verchese also for this episode, and I just, there was one of the orchestra guys, Akimoto, he played at one of the concerts an electric violin. It was spectacular. It was really, I'd never heard anything like that. So do you think you're going to continue with some of these, the art or the theater, once you move on from here?
Definitely, yes.
It's such a nice outlet. Yeah, I would think so. And then what about sports? Do you do any sports here at school?
I don't play any school sports, but I do play soccer on the ASO team. So that is fun.
Okay.
For the weekends.
Wow. So you're doing a lot of different things. Okay. What about clubs? Do you do any clubs too? Do you have any time in your schedule?
I am a part of a couple different National Honor Societies, and this year we weren't able to do it, but the past 3 years I've been a part of Camerata,
We couldn't do that this year.
Yeah.
I know. Razor's Edge and Camerata, those have been such wonderful, those small concerts that you could compete in and you singing around town. And then the last couple of years, I remember you guys did the little voiceograms. I don't know what you called it, right? Remember, people could buy little...
The singograms. We would go around, sing to people during the school day.
Right. Wow. Okay. So tell me how, with all of these wonderful arts and everything, how did it work with school? Was it easier that we didn't have that much going on, like the play and chorus. How did you handle school with this remote and everything? Was it?
It was rough towards the beginning of the year. It was hard to kind of manage everything, make sure I wasn't getting behind on any classes just because I would, maybe miss an assignment or something like that.
And you had those 2 days where you were asynchronous. So it was up to you to figure out how you were going to...
Exactly. But after a little bit of time, I got more used to it. And I'm very excited to go back altogether. But I have grown to appreciate, the 2 days that I get to kind of manage my time and pick out what my priorities are for that day.
That's a really important skill, which many high school kids don't get the opportunity to figure out, right? Because we go to school at this time and the day is so regimented. And, when you're in college and beyond, you're right. You do have to say, okay, what am I going to do today? When am I going to do it? And I know I asked you, what your genius time was, because you said you don't start your schoolwork on those days off at 8 a.m. You start a little later in the morning. Yeah. That's important to know when you're at your best so that you're more efficient.
Yeah.
And that many people don't. Some people are better at night. Some people are better early in the morning. So, but it is nice that I think for your final quarter, you'll be in full time.
Yes.
I think pretty much every kid I've spoken to has, from second grade on up to senior, has said, yeah, I'm really ready to get back to school. Ready to see everybody again.
Yeah.
I know. And I think pretty much every single teacher, staff is ready to have everybody back too. But, we did the best we could, and we got to do a play.
Yes.
You got to do some chorus. And now, I don't think we had a full chorus or orchestra, though, event. Did we? Did you have a full, or is it just small bits?
No, we weren't able to do that. Miss Rizzo and Mrs. Mead both worked on different songs. So for chorus, she mixed all of our voices together. We sent in recordings, and we still got to hear everyone singing together. And then for orchestra, she did the same with our playing. So we kind of got to hear what it would have sounded like, but we didn't get to actually do a concert.
Right. Well, you got the play, so you got everybody together for the play. All right. So one final question, 2 final questions. What were you in the kindergarten circus?
I was a clown.
You were a clown?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm hoping they bring the circus back next year.
Yeah.
And then for an 8th grader who's about to come up to the high school, what would be your advice to an 8th grader?
It's really not as scary as it seems, and people want to know you. So if you just keep your head up,
It's good.
It seems like a big school, but then you walk inside and it gets a whole lot smaller. So it's really not that scary. It's going to be fun.
That's good. That's nice. People want to get to know you. I think that's a really nice message. And I think it's something that kids are a little bit afraid of, coming out of that middle school environment, but realizing that a lot of that goes away. People do want to get to know you. Well, that's so great. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about your art in so many different areas. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Good luck
for
on the
having
rest
me.
of your school year.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
Hi. Well, so now I'm here in a different setting, and I'm with Lukman Thane. And Lukman is in 10th grade. And thank you. And Lukman is actually not in Pleasantville today, which is why we're recording in this different situation. It's all about flexibility these days, right, Lukman?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I couldn't be in Pleasantville due to a family situation here in Houston. So that's where I'm speaking to you from right now.
That's fine. That's fine. So, as I had mentioned to you, this episode of Inside Pleasantville is about athletics, arts, and academics. And, you've been involved in quite a number of things. And the first, I'd like to congratulate you, which you were at our last Board of Ed meeting about the Science Olympiad. And this time you were a coach. So do you want to share a little bit about being a coach this year?
Of course. So I participated in middle school science Olympiad from 6th grade until like 8th grade. And then in 9th grade, I didn't really have the opportunity to become a science Olympiad coach for a specific event because of all the amazing opportunities offered here at Pleasantville High School. But in 10th grade, because of the more limited opportunities we had, I gave it a shot and I helped my sister and with her challenge, which was Crime Busters, which is basically like a crime scene investigation type of challenge. So because I was successful in it in high school, I helped her and I helped Dr. Mateo, answering her questions, sending necessary documents that we had over to Dr. Mateo. And it was a really great experience. And I'm really impressed with the middle school science Olympiad team for how they performed this year, despite all the odds.
Right. And you were in Science Olympiad when you were in the middle school.
Yeah, that's right. I participated in, as I mentioned, Crime Busters, which is my sister's event, and other events related to environmental science.
But you didn't coach last year.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Why didn't you coach last year?
So there were just a lot of opportunities offered here at Pleasantville High School that I wanted to try something new, in all honesty, because I had done Science Olympiad before. I didn't do high school Science Olympiad because there were just so many other things that I could try and I could really explore and branch out my interests.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's so great. And Science Olympiad has been such an amazing, the Doctors Mateo have been so great. Now, you also did the play this year.
I did. That's right. It was a very fun experience.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I didn't do it last year.
Yeah. But you were Mr. Darling. You were Mr. Darling in 8th grade.
Yeah. So those were really fun experiences, and I look forward to doing them again.
That's so great. The play is such a beloved event in Pleasantville. People of all ages love to come to see the play, and I'm so delighted that Ms. Rizzo and Mr. Grachese were able to pull it off this year. A little different with the masks, but you still had the opportunity of, I would imagine it just felt so great to be with some of your classmates.
Yeah, it was really a different experience for me.
Right, that's
really
great.
special.
Oh, that's so great. And then what about sports? You're also an athlete, I believe, right?
Yes, I am. I'm primarily a runner. I was involved with cross country, winter track, and spring track. The beginning of spring track last year until we got shut down, of course. Mm-hmm. And this year I'm doing cross country and spring track.
That's great. Yeah, we started the winter track while I was on the board. That started, and that's been a nice thing, so that the runners can run all year during school, which I'm so happy to have that opportunity for them. And are you in the art classes or the band or the chorus? What other?
I also do band and chorus.
Oh, you're in the band too? Yeah.
I play clarinet.
You play the clarinet? Okay. Have you been doing that since 4th grade?
I have, yeah.
That's wonderful. And chorus. So you're just getting all of that.
Yeah.
That's a nice outlet for you. Right. And tell me a little bit about how it's been with school this year. I know it's such an unusual year.
Well, school's obviously, been a bit different, as you mentioned. Like, obviously, we aren't seeing all of our classmates at one single time in a single classroom, and we're distanced and through the masks and everything. So I'd say that it has been a bit more difficult this year, not only in terms of the content, but also because of the circumstances that we're in that make things more difficult than they already are. Mm-hmm. But all in all, I think I've been managing fairly well.
Well, and one of the advantages I think that you can agree to, particularly at this very moment, is that even though you're stuck in Houston, you're able to still attend class and not be counted as absent. which in most circumstances that would not have been the case. So,
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would imagine you were in social studies today, right?
I was, yeah.
That's great. All right. Well, let me ask you one question. What piece of advice would you give to an 8th grader who's coming up to the high school next year?
Well, first, I want to say, like, you don't have to be scared because, I know I was nervous, like, on my first day during freshman orientation. A lot of people were, I'm sure. There really is nothing to be nervous about. High school is a great experience and a great opportunity. And there are many things that you should take full advantage of. There are many programs, many opportunities that can allow you to explore your full potential. Just work hard and you'll do fine.
Right. I know there are a lot of opportunities once you get to the high school. And I think what I love is, in the elementary school, we have the little theater. So you all get to do some plays. There's the band, there's, the dad's club for some sports. So there's a lot of different things that you're testing and trying out as you're going through elementary and middle school, so that by the time you get to high school, there's even more to try. So I'm glad you've been able to take advantage of all of those different opportunities. And you have 2 more years.
Yeah, I have 2 more years to continue to expand my interests and see what else is out there.
That's so great. Well, Lukman, I'm so glad you were able to join me. I'm so glad we were able to do this. I hope that the recording looks good when it all gets put together. We've had several different recordings for this episode. And enjoy and good luck with the rest of your stay and getting back to Pleasantville safely. And we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too.
Well, I'd like to thank Ryle, Victoria, Lukman, Nadia Rizzo, and John Frachese for joining me over these few recorded sessions. There's so much education beyond the classroom, from the BRS Little Theater to our sports fields to the choices in the high school and everything in between. I'd like to thank our community for supporting all of it and giving our students all these wonderful opportunities. Thank you for joining us, and please look to our next edition as we continue the conversation about inside Pleasantville schools. Have a great day.